touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave Fill me out with your smile. Love the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out where I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and
Okay, good day everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of the Younger Zoom webinar. I hope we all enjoyed day 1. Now I'll be taking the opening prayer. Father Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for everything you have done for us in our lives. We ask that as we start the program today, it will go better than the first program in Jesus' name. Lord, we ask that everyone that speaks today, you continue to guide and keep them and protect them in Jesus' name. Lord, we ask that everything that we are told today and we learn today, we keep it to heart and we use it in our everyday lives. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Now I would like to introduce our guests. So our theme for today is youth evolution, the youth connecting future perspectives. Our topic for today is financial security, a necessity for young people to explore its future prospects. Our guest speaker is Mrs. Arese Ugu. She is the CEO of Smart Money Africa. She is an author. She is the author of the best-selling and groundbreaking book, The Smart Money Woman, a financial chick lit novel that has taken Africa by storm. She is helping young Africans discover their power to build their future and make smarter money decisions through Smart Money Africa, a finance platform for the African millennial, engaging young Africans on the importance of financial literacy and the impact it has on helping get money, keep money, and grow money. Her work is ensuring Her work is ensuring financial literacy for Africa's youth has gone unnoticed, has not gone unnoticed. In 2015, she was a finalist for Access Bank's W Awards for Young Professional of the Year. In 2016, she won Remy Martin's Pacesetter Award and was nominated for the Future Awards Africa Prize for Education. She serves on several boards, including House of Tara and the Nigeria Higher Education Foundation, as a non-executive director, and is also an associate member of WIRTIS, serving on its planning committee since 2015. RSA also holds an MSc in Economic Development from University College London and a BSc from Aston Business School, Birmingham. She is also an alumni of African University of London and a member of the African University Alumni Association.
All right. I apologize for that. She had a little network issue, so I will be continuing from where she stopped. So now let's meet our panelists. have very wonderful people here today to speak on this topic of financial security. And one of them is Kende Awuni. He's an accountant. Kende Awuni is a graduate of accounting, currently focused in project management, human development, and personal and corporate leadership. He's the host of Let's Talk teaching series, which focuses on purpose, personal development, and self-actualization. A founding member and former vice president of Student Finance Club, Uniloring. He's certified in personal development, organizational goals and strategy, resource management. He holds a diploma in management, analysis and strategy, and business management and entrepreneurship. He's a part-time volunteer at several humanitarian projects, and he currently works at AYLI Lagos as an administrative personnel. Nice to meet you. Nice, Sandy. Our next panelist is Christopher Chisom. He's a student and the CEO of Kids Vogue, a student entrepreneur, digital marketing strategist, and founder of My Brand Com, a consultancy aimed at informing young entrepreneurs on starting, scaling, and building a brand that resonates perfectly with their target audience. Next, please. Toluwalashe Oluwanifemi Awodero. She's a student and the host of Family Gospel Club. An indigene of Ogun State, Nigeria, she started her education in Christian High School Ikeja between 2012 and 2018. Then she proceeded further to Pan Atlantic University, Lagos, Nigeria, to study economics, and then University of Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, to obtain a bachelor degree in management accounting. One of our initiatives is the Family Gospel Club on Tolu Trust IG, of which is the host. The Family League Gospel Club rather was born out of the urgency to preach the gospel of love and salvation. It is a call to discipleship. We are committed, and they are committed to winning souls for God's kingdom and defining Christ's family. They know and believe that Jesus is the best example. She has a lot of laurels to her credit. For instance, she was the most creative graduate student in Christian High School Ikeja. She is an awardee of the NNPC Total Scholarship, and she's also on the Dean's Honor list. Her interests are entrepreneurship, agriculture, reading, and counseling. It's good to have you here, Tolu Awodero. Okay, Sheyi is back now. Sheyi is back now. Oh, okay. Sorry, Sheyi has issues with her network again. So I will just invite the co-founder of the Young Adult Foundation, Trust Babalola, to take the opening remark. Hello, Trust.
Hello, everyone. It was a pleasure to be here to speak to you, our esteemed guests and viewers all over the world. I'm Trust Babalola, one of the co-founders of Young Adult Foundation, and I welcome you to this webinar series. And I use this opportunity to acknowledge the convener of the foundation in person of Charles Obinawa. Also in our midst, we have Mrs. Arisa Ugo. Pardon me if I didn't pronounce your name well. Our wonderful and special guest speaker today, and our various awesome panelists, our esteemed guests and viewers. I welcome you all and thank you for being part of this wonderful exercise. Today, we shall be discussing based on our theme named Youth Evolution, the youth connecting with future prospects. Our exciting topic, financial security, a necessity for young people to exploit future prospects. Wow, what a wonderful topic that is. Indeed, everyone wants to achieve financial security and plan for their financial future, and it is possible to do that. However, most people fail to achieve financial security because they make three critical mistakes. Financial security, as I know, refers to the peace of mind you feel when you aren't worried about your income being enough to cover your expenses, which implies that you have enough money saved to cover emergencies and your future financial goals. And when you are financially secure, your stress level goes down, leaving you free to focus on other issues. While financial security can be very tied to the numbers, how much you earn, how much you spend, and how much you save, it also takes into account how you feel about your financial situation. Do you feel secure in your earning power and confident that you'll be able to pay any unexpected expenses? Would your emergency fund float you for 6 months or a year? Should you lose your job or you become too ill to work? You might say then that how do one achieve financial security? Why is financial security important? What do you need to do to feel financially secure? These and many more questions regarding financial security shall be answered shortly. Please stay back and enjoy the program. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Trust, for that wonderful opening remark. Yeah, and Trust has rightly highlighted that financial security is very important for every young person. Without wasting much of your time, we'll go straight to the guest speaker speech. We have her here, Mrs. Arese Ugu. She's the founder of Smart Money Africa. It's a pleasure to have you here, ma'am.
For having me. Okay. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm going to start by sharing a little bit of my story, my journey, and then I'll be sharing 3 tips with you guys about how you can be financially secure. So my name is Arese. I am now 35 years old. So it was so interesting looking at like the bios of the different people and seeing that people had finished secondary school in 2018, and it made me feel so old. But I think this is a really great conversation to be having, especially like at your age, because this is a time that you haven't made all the financial mistakes that, you know, most adults have had to make and learn from. You have the opportunity of learning from other people's mistakes, and formulating your own sort of financial management strategy now that you're young, before, you know, you make too many mistakes. So I was your typical African millennial. I probably had very similar aspirations to most of you. I wanted to get my first degree, get my master's, get married, be at the top of my game in my career, you know, and for the most part, you know, all of that happened. I got my first degree, I got my master's, I thought I met the love of my life, and I moved back to Nigeria, got married, had a fabulous wedding. And then at 27 years old, my marriage fell apart, and I basically had to start my life again with a 1-year-old child in tow, and it was so expensive. I had to pay 2 years rent up front. When I moved to a new apartment, I had to buy new furniture, pay service charge 1 year up front, and it was just so expensive. And I didn't understand how I had gotten myself in a situation where I had a good job. I didn't have the excuse of saying, oh, I don't earn enough money, I'm a low income earner. I had been saving and investing, but in this big moment, I realized that I had not been saving and investing enough in proportion to my income. And the truth is, many of us are going to hear stories like this, because I know that I certainly did when I was younger. And we're going to think, oh, yeah, poor her. It's sad that this happened to that person. And we always think that it's something that can never happen to us. So one of the things that I feel like people don't really tell us when we're growing up or when we're going into the job market or starting businesses is that uncertainty is a big part of life. You can never tell the big obstacles that life is going to throw you. And financial security is a huge part of being able to weather those storms. And financial literacy and having the financial literacy tools to be able to go through the different seasons in your life, whether you're up or whether you're down, knowing how to manage the different seasons, you need financial literacy tools. And at this stage, when all of this happened to me, I thought, oh my goodness, like, how am I here? And what do I need to do to get out of this situation that I found myself, in? And it kind of helped me birth my purpose. Because it made me start thinking through the fact that there are other women like me who were smart, who had a great education, who had good jobs, or were running great businesses, but weren't financially literate, because nobody had taught us in any formal framework how to keep money or grow money. They just tell you get a good job or start a business, like if you want to be financially successful, but nobody teaches you how to keep and grow it. So what happens to most of us is we become revolving doors for our money. So you make money, you spend money, you make money, you spend money. And we fall into that trap where we start to think, if I make more money, then it'll get better. The more money I make, then it'll get better. But what happens when you don't learn how to keep and grow a proportion of the income that you're earning systematically is you become a revolving door, and your consumption tends to rise to meet your income. And you get to a point where even if you make 100 million, if you spend 100 million and you don't have assets to show for it, and what you have left is zero, you're just as poor as a person who has, way less. So the 3 tips that I wanted to share with you: 1, you need a budget. You need to know how to allocate your limited resources in a way that reflects your values and the lifestyle and the goals that you want for yourself, right? So I have a simple trick that I use. I call it the small money budget. It's taking the approach of dividing your income into 3 parts. So 70% towards your living expenses. So all the bills that you have to pay. So your rent, your service charge, your transportation costs every month, your living expenses, allocating 70% of the income that you earn towards your living expenses. Taking 20% of the income that you earn and putting it towards your long-term financial goals. So for me, long-term financial goals are the goals that you set aside to help you protect your financial future, right? So it's the amount of, is the percentage of the income that you earn that you put aside to invest in assets that can protect you in the future, right? So obviously we know assets are expensive. So things like land, things like property, things like a stock portfolio, you're not just going to, it's not your first salary that's going to buy it all at once. For most people, you have to systematically save money towards acquiring an asset, right? So the idea is to put 20% of your income aside every single month towards buying an asset. So you're saving every month with the goal of I'm going to start a stock portfolio when I've been able to save 200,000 naira. Then I'm going to start my stock portfolio. Then 10% of your income goes towards your short-term financial goals. I like to call these your short-term frivolous goals. So the goals that you set aside that keep you sane, that keep you, happy. So the things that is the 10% of your income that you set aside towards the things that bring you joy, but are not necessarily assets. So for example, I like to travel, right? Like travel makes me happy. Is a lifestyle goal that I'm going to spend on that's not necessarily going to make me any money or protect me, in the future, but to keep my life balanced and not always save and invest, save and invest. I have to have lifestyle goals. So 10% of my income goes towards saving towards things like travel, saving towards things like, oh, I want to buy a bag, or I want to buy those shoes, so that it keeps your budget balanced and you're not overstraining yourself or doing something that's not sustainable. The second thing that you also want to think about in terms of financial management is your emergency fund. You want an emergency fund because it's the cushion for your financial life. It helps you to meet your short-term unexpected expenses, but helps you to protect your long-term financial goals, right? So I'm sure that we've all been in the situation where you're saving, and then boom, something happens like that was unexpected that you now need money for. Maybe your phone screen cracks, or your car has a dent, or stops working and it has to go to the mechanic. So there are different emergencies that crop up that can divert you from your goals, right? So it's important for you to have an emergency fund that cushions those financial blows. So you have to plan for it, because we know again that obstacles happen, different seasons happen, and you have to prepare for it so that it doesn't blindside you. So your emergency fund is typically 6 to 9 months of your living expenses, is what you set aside to make sure that you have some kind of financial cushion if anything happens, so that you don't have to take from the money that you've set aside for your long-term financial goals. The third thing that I think that is important for you to have is your own personal investment strategy, right? So when people hear things like investment strategy, it sounds like a big, fancy, term that is complicated. But all it is basically saying, this is a proportion of my income that I've set aside towards investing in assets, right? Because I want to protect my financial future. This is how I am going to invest it, right? So it's not enough to say, oh, I want to own real estate, right? It only becomes a goal, a real goal that you can formulate an investment strategy for when you can say, okay, I want to buy real estate. What kind of real estate can I afford? If I earn 100,000 naira every month, and I say that I'm putting 20% aside every single month towards my long-term financial goals, that means I'm putting 20K aside every single month into another account that I can't touch towards my long-term financial goals. At the end of 1 year, how much would I have saved? At the end of 2 years, how much would I have saved? And after 2 years of saving 20K a month, right? How much can if I have about 500K, 600K saved, how much what can that buy me in terms of land? Where can I buy the land? So if I can buy land in Iyana-Ipaja, or I can buy it in, Shongo Tedo or whatever, what kind of property would that, or what kind of land would that give me access to? Or is it enough to buy land? Can I use it to start? Can I start with treasury bills, or can I start with a fixed deposit, or should I start buying stocks with the money that I've saved? Or it could be, I've saved 600,000 naira. I'm going to use 200,000 to put towards the stock market. I'm going to put and use the remaining 400,000 and put it in treasury bills because I don't want to risk, my capital. So basically, you have to come up with a personal investment strategy for yourself. Something that helps you allocate your limited resources and directs it to the asset classes that you can afford and that you understand. So at this point, because I'm kind of tired of hearing my own voice, I'll take questions. Like if you have any questions, if you want, to ask me anything. No questions. Okay, so maybe I should ask you questions. As a young adult, what are your pain points when it comes to money? What are the things that you feel like you struggle with?
Excuse me, ma'am. I think someone wants to ask a question. Okay.
Yes, good evening or good afternoon, Ma. I do have a question. So, and it's also related to what you just asked, like what are the challenges that we might face when it comes to like this whole financial security topic? I would say, because we're youths, some of us are very young and we don't necessarily have a source of income, right? So having read, I must also commend like the whole Smart Money move, Smart Money Woman, Smart Money Africa, because I read the book and it's such a great resource. After every chapter, I was challenged to make a move, but I felt like, oh, I don't have money. Like I'm not receiving steady income. How much of this can I apply now? So I think that would be a major challenge for many of us that are not, working now.
I think it's amazing. I think you should see it as a huge opportunity because for me, when I hear, oh, I'm just young and I haven't started working yet, and I don't know if I can even start applying any of these skills or these exercises to my life because I don't have an income yet. All I'm hearing or all I'm seeing for you is blank slate. It means I have a blank slate. I haven't made any mistakes yet. I have the opportunity to figure out what my purpose is, to figure out what kind of life I want, what kind of goals I want to set for myself, how I want to make money, right? So I think it's a very exciting time that you should take advantage of. When you're young, I think it's important for you to focus on building the skills that you need to be able to earn money and not necessarily be focused on the money itself. Like right now, what you need to focus on is how do I become a high value person? How do I invest in skills that I can monetize down the line? What do I need to learn so that I can, or what skills do I need to acquire so that I can work in the field that I want to work in and I can earn at the highest possible level? So I feel like right now is about doing research, thinking through what do I want to be doing, for money? What is my life's purpose? What are my goals? Because again, at this stage in your life, you're getting a lot of, conflicting ideas or ideologies from different people, your parents, society, different trends are happening. But it's a great time to figure out what you want, not what your parents want, not what your aunties want, not what your teachers, say that you should be doing, but actually sitting down and picturing what is the life that I want for myself. Because they don't tell us this early enough, but we're all different. What makes me tick is going to be very different from what makes my friends tick, right? How I want to make money, like how I genuinely want to make money, and the lifestyle that I want to live is different from, the next person. So it's a good time to just really like figure that out and become, self-aware and articulate the goals that you want to set for yourself and the kind of life that you want to live. I hope that helps.
Yes, it helps a lot. Thank you. And I feel like I'm on track because I'm definitely looking for those resources and, building the mindset before the money starts coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone else has another question.
Okay.
Good evening. Such an amazing time. It's a privilege having you here. I've written so much and you just spurred me to action. I just want to ask, are there investment opportunities for young people? Because you talked about having a personal investment strategy. I would like you to just elaborate on some investment opportunities for people who don't have as much to invest, considering their level of income.
Okay, so people are always fixated on how much money they don't have to invest, right? So I think it's important for you to realize that at this stage, especially, it's not a crime to not have money. It's about learning, the discipline to start putting some of that money aside. And there are many things that you can start investing in that don't require like huge sums of money. So mutual funds, ARM, FBN Quest, they have money market, based mutual funds, equity-based mutual funds that can help you invest your money without really thinking about the asset allocation yourself. So basically, with a mutual fund, you're taking part in a collective scheme where you and thousands of other people are investing money collectively with a fund manager, and that fund manager is going and investing in stocks or investing in treasury bills, right? So for as little as 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, people can buy, mutual funds and rely on the fund manager's expertise without having to actually go and pick stocks themselves or figure out, the bond market or treasury bill market themselves. So those are one of the things that you can do as a young person starting out, mutual funds.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And I'm sure we'll all take action. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. So if there's not, if there aren't any more questions.
Sorry, Doing from YouTube said, what if you are not making so much for your salary, and what do you do to save enough for your goals? That's Doing.
Well, what you do is think about how you can make much more from your salary. But I think we always have to be careful with that idea that what if you're not making much from your salary, right? So I can't save and invest. Let me remind you that the way that you spend 10 naira is the way that you're going to spend 10 million. So if you can't find a way to save when you make 10 naira, you are not going to find a way to save when you make 10 million. Facts. Ask people who have finished university, they've done NYC, they've gotten their first job, they have they're earning maybe 19,800 naira. It's small, they complain how tiny it is and it doesn't make any sense. And then 5 years later, they're earning 10 times their salary, right? But their consumption has risen to meet their income. And let me explain what I mean by that. So you finish NYC, you get a job in a bank. Now you have to look like a banker. So you have to have a banker's wardrobe. You have to have a banker's car. You have to move to a different neighborhood. All of a sudden, all things that were good enough before are not good enough anymore. So your expenses have risen to meet your income and you're a revolving door for your money. And so basically, you're in the same place. You might have a better job that earns 10 times more, but you're in the exact same place that you were in NYSC, where you weren't earning the same, you felt like you weren't earning enough. So you will never earn enough if you don't learn to spend less than you earn. So you have to have the habit of saving, no matter how little it is, so that even when you start making more money, you already have the habit of 10% of my income or 20% of my income has to go towards my savings. And then if you feel like you're not earning enough in terms of your salary, I think it's important to think about how to increase your earning potential. So what do I need to do to improve my income? Do I need to start a side hustle? Do I need to um, start a side hustle so that I have multiple streams of income? Do I need to invest in courses so that I can improve my skill set so that I'm in a better position to earn more? What do I need to be doing to earn more money? So you need to be thinking about that, constantly.
All right.
Are there any more questions?
No more questions, mom.
Thank you so much. This was amazing. I'm going to let you guys go now. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the session. I hope this was helpful. I just want to say that this is such an amazing, platform to put together. I want to commend you guys, and I hope that you learn that through this COVID, especially through this year that we've had, that it's important to be resilient, that big obstacles are going to happen, big things are going to happen, but you have to stay strong through it. You have to be resilient through it. Life is about seasons. And I wish someone had told me this earlier, but it's important for you to find the joy in even in uncertain times and be able to go from one uncertainty to the other, one obstacle to the other, finding joy even in the smallest things, right? And not losing like your enthusiasm to deliver or smash your goals. So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you,
It's
Ma.
been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Ma, for your speech. That was very helpful to us. We
Thank
really
you so
appreciate what you have said to us, and I know that all of us have learned something today.
Thank you. It was so great to speak to you guys. Bye.
Okay, so now we have our interlude where we'll be doing some games. So we are going to be doing a few teasers, and this game is practically about fastest fingers. So you guys can send the answers to me privately. So the first question is, if money really did grow on trees, what would everyone's favorite season be? You guys can send your answers to me privately now. Okay, I'm seeing a few answers. Okay, so a lot of people have similar answers. I think we can reveal the answer now. So the answer was fall. Next question is, what's the easiest way to double your money?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people have very interesting answers. And I see that a lot of people have gotten the answer. So the answer was invest it. The next question is, how do you fit 10 horses into 9 stalls? You can see that this one is very tricky, so I think you guys should think out of the box.
Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in. Welcome, my heart so full. I'm devoting myself to the night. There's no motive. We're just listening. We're existing.
Okay, so the answer was that you had to think out of the box. So can you read the answer now? Okay, so the next question is, Using only addition, how do you add 8 and get the number 1000?
Rising with each beat of the music is bringing little flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in. Welcome, my heart so full. I'm devoting myself to the night. There's no motive. We're just listening.
Okay, I'm seeing a few answers.
We stay when the music plays and we stop alone where the people sway.
So I think we can review the answer now. Okay, thank you. So now I would like to call on Charles Obrinawa, our moderator, for the first panel session.
Thank you very much, Shi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first panel session. We've heard a lot about financial security today, but then we want to have some young people tell us more about this topic of great interest. I'm Obrinawa Charles, and I'll be the moderator for this panel session. We have three panelists for this session: Kehinde Awoniyi, Toluwalashe Awoderu, and Christopher Chisom. They are very unique individuals, and they would be answering questions on this topic of financial security. Without wasting much of your time, the first question goes to Tolu Awoderu. Hello, Tolu. Okay.
Hello. Hello, Charles.
It's good to have you here. The first question is, what is financial security?
Thank you. As everyone has said already, financial security is indeed having enough money saved to take care of our emergencies and what's it called, our future financial goals. It helps us, as Trust said earlier, to curb our worries. It gives us peace of mind indeed, because money is a good measure of our goals. And once you're able to create that security, you're able to manage your worries better. So that's what financial security looks like. Saving enough money so you don't have to worry about not meeting your expenses. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Tolu. Tolu said that money is a measure of our goals. She said that financial security is very important for every young person. She's spoken very well. We'll move on to Christopher. Hello, Christopher.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Charles.
Good evening. It's good to have you here.
Good evening.
Now, Christopher,
All right.
today we are talking about future prospects. Now, what are
Okay.
the financial prospects of the youth in the future? I mean, what are the future prospects for the youth in the financial world?
Um, I don't think I will like delve into much into it. I'll just put it into a simple word. I'll just say digital, basically. The future of finance, basically, for any department now lies in the digital department. Depending on how you want to look at it, maybe from an entrepreneurial point of view or from any kind of investment point of view, but digital is like the main thing right now. So be it whether you are interested in like software development, be it digital marketing, be it e-commerce, and under e-commerce, you might also have like your social commerce and the rest of it. But digital is like where the world is like aligning at the moment. And also, if you look at the current world trend, especially with the occurrence of the pandemic, you realize that the world is actually adjusting more towards the digital angle, where companies are now having to like have their employees work from home, and many businesses have had to like make several adjustments just to meet up with like demands with the current environmental issues that we're having in general. So I think the future lies in digital, basically. So if you actually want to take up anything now with the view of the future in mind, I feel you should aim towards going towards digital, be it software development, because now many companies are looking for automated processes to run their businesses better. And there's no other way to do that apart from maybe using artificial intelligence and using several software applications to achieve that purpose. So doing that actually opens up more markets for and demand for software developers. So basically, if you are inclined in that towards that niche, then obviously the future is quite secure, I feel like, and bright for you in that area. So those that actually invest their time now, their energy, and maybe resources towards gaining any form of digital experience whatsoever, they can actually monetize it in any way they want in the future. There are just so many opportunities in that department, and going forward, nothing is going to change. Instead, it's actually going to advance even further. So the goal is actually to look for several opportunities within the digital industry that you can actually leverage on and then monetize it for in order for you to achieve financial independence in the near future.
Thank you very much, Chisom. Chisom has spoken very, very well. He said in one word, and I quote that the world is heading digital in terms of finance. Moving on, I would like to ask Kendi that Kendi, what is your thoughts on social media as a business tool, and how can it be leveraged on for business growth?
All right, Charles. Thank you, Mr. Christopher. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Charles. Social media is a tool for making money. The goal of any business is to make money. And social media, as Mr. Charles has said, is one of the easiest platforms to get your products out there, because the world is round. Okay, we know the world is round, but with the internet, the world is flat. And post-COVID, the world is flattest. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The world is flat with the internet. That means I can do something here in Lagos and someone in the United States can have access to it. Almost everything we are doing now has digital applications. That means we need to come to a point where we digitize our products. For as many products as can be digitized, there's a phasing out of physical businesses. Many businesses are going automated. That gives us a huge leverage, especially as a third world country, especially as youths in Nigeria. I need us to understand that from shopping to medicine to tailoring to almost anything, you can do your business online and make money online. Social media has gone past the point where you just click for likes and you look for followers and you share TikTok videos. You need to learn how to start monetizing your products. You need to learn how to start putting your products out there. And I'm going to be sharing two models that have been used by several people. And I teach these models anytime I'm privileged to talk to people who want to take their product to the virtual space. Number one is the attention model. The attention model, you see, that's one thing Instagram people do. They get your attention. The goal of any business online should be to get attention, because the most expensive commodity in the world right now is not money. It is the attention of people. If you have the attention of people, you can tell. You need to be able to capture the attention of people. I was telling Mr. Charles a few days ago about this lady, Crackhead Extra. She went to a marketplace in Lagos, I think, and she was screaming out song lyrics. And in as much as that was crazy and unexpected, less than 24 hours, you can insult her, you can't, you want that. She got people's attention. You need to be creative with the way you get people. Create interest. Interest creates that attention, interest, desire, and action. You need to learn that with attention. And the second thing you need to do is the second model I would like to examine very briefly is the action model. Now, with the attention model, you go to your customer. With the attention model, you create an attention. You get your customer's attention. But with the action model, you go to your customers. With the attention model, you need your customers to come to you. You need to get their attention. But with the action model, you have to go to your customers. So that means you need to be more direct with the action model. These two models, you need to learn when and when not to implement them for you to be able to make your sales. I'm talking in terms of business, in terms of digital world. It's not necessarily limited to social media. I'm talking about digital, the virtual space now. With the action model, you need to, a few days, I think last week, someone reached out to me on Facebook, and he just started disturbing me and doing everything. Then we had a meeting yesterday. She now told me that his product. I was like, wow, that was very bold of you. That is the action model. You don't need to start waiting for manna to fall from heaven. With the action model, you go directly to your customer. Hello, my name is Kennedy. I offer this product. I'm a fashion designer, and I think you have the style. I think your creativity, my creativity resonates with your sense of style, and I would like to serve you. These are my products. This is my Facebook page. This is my Instagram handle. Follow me, and I will send you a list of my catalogers, these two. And when we understand them and effectively make use of them, we'll be able to monetize social media, not only for likes and TikTok videos and smiling and taking pictures. We're actually going to do much more with social media. Thank you, Mr. Charles.
Thank you very much, and you've spoken very, very well. I recall that you said that there are two very important things when talking about business in terms of social media: the attention model and the action model. That's wonderful. Now, Tolu, how is financial security necessary for the youth to exploit future prospects?
Sorry. Oh, interesting.
Hello, Tolu.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
We
can hear
can
you.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can
Sorry
hear you.
about that. Okay, your question, how is financial security necessary for youth to exploit future prospects? I'm going to read some verses from Luke, from the book of Luke, chapter 14, verses 28 to 30, to answer that question. please hear me. For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So it talks about counting your cost. And it cites an example of a man that started building but could not finish. So we talked earlier about what the definition of financial security, having enough to achieve those goals. So not starting it and getting stuck in the middle. That's not what we're trying to do. I hope you got the message from the Bible verse. Financial security is us counting our costs towards all our goals, and to build and counting our costs towards all the things we plan on building in the future. So financial security indeed is very important as we, evaluate these future prospects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tolu. You've spoken very well. Now to Christopher. Hello, Christopher.
I can hear you.
All right, good. How can the youth ensure their financial security? And why is financial security very important for the youth?
Sorry about that. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. So to answer that question, I think there are key factors that actually has to come into play for to ensure financial security for youth. So I've outlined, like, let's say 3 things, and the first one is like access to information. So for anyone to have like a successful or a secure financial future, then you need access to like good information. That is like staying trendy with the world, as the world keeps evolving. Obviously, just like this year now, this year has like been like a roller coaster ride for a lot of people because no one actually saw what happened like coming. So many people had like their plans changed. Some people could adapt, some people could not adapt. So those that were actually able to adapt were those that had the access to information. So it was quite easy for them to move from the traditional method of operation to a new method of operation, to be able to align themselves properly with the new current world trends. So having that in mind, I feel access to information is number one thing you have to do to be able to secure a very good financial future, to be future-proof for your finances. You need to have access to good information. Then the second one is on adaptability. So for you to have a secure financial future, you need to be adaptable. Be whatever it is that you're focusing on, be it a business or an enterprise, whatever it might be, whichever field you find yourself in. So if you're adaptable, that will actually give you room to grow, because adaptability involves you being able to adjust to trend and actually helps you to stay relevant. So to be able to like secure a good financial future, you need to stay relevant. As a business, let's say for instance, there are like different scenarios where businesses have gone into extinct. Not like they didn't have like the resources that they needed. They have resources, but then they were not able to adapt to the world trend. They were not able to jump on the boats of whatever it was that was going on at the moment. So just like this COVID period now, there were so many businesses that were grounded. Like for example, the ones that we know, football matches, there were no fans in the there were no spectators in the stadiums. So many clubs like went grounded. Some had to like relieve their staffs of their duties just to cut on expenses and the rest of it. But then there are also other people that found different ways to monetize and then still grow their brand. So that comes down to adaptability, being able to adapt to current trends. So they've been able to secure themselves financially for the present time and probably also for the future time, because we don't know how long this pandemic might actually go on for. So it's those that have access to information first that were able to like do that, and secondly, those that were able to adapt. Then the third thing is flexibility. And then flexibility comes down to being able to change the norm, not being too rigid. Because some people, why so many businesses fail or why so many enterprises fail is because they are not able to move from their original idea. They always think that, oh, this method that we came up with in the first place, it must work. If it doesn't work, then nothing else has to work. So they're not able to change, or let's say adjust to norms. So they were not able to, like, there was no flexibility in their operational at all. So they were not able to accept new ideas. So flexibility in general, like, involves you accepting new ideas based on the current events of your environment, whichever environment you find yourself, or space you find yourself in general. So if you're unable to, like, accept new ideas, if you're not open to new ideas, then it means that you're probably not going to be relevant to so many people. Just say, let's say, for instance, now the music industry, we have, like, artists that, let's say, in the previous years, let's say 2 years ago, they were, like, very relevant. We enjoyed their sound, and then as things kept going on, as trends kept changing, and people kept, like, new things came on, new artists came on with new sounds, so they had to phase out, because why? They couldn't adapt to the new sound, so they just had to, like, leave the scene. So those that are actually there, but then we'll have other artists that have lived, like, throughout the years, people like Two-Face. I'm just using an instance now. People like Two-Face and the rest of them. There are so many other artists, but they've managed to, like, stay relevant over the years. Why? Because they've been able to they apply flexibility to their craft. So they've been able to, like, maneuver, accept new ideas, and go with new trends. So for you to be able to secure yourself financially as a young person, or even as an enterprise or anything, you need to, like, master the three factors. Always be willing to search out for new information. Make sure you have access to new and trending information. Be willing to adapt, and then stay flexible with your business. Then definitely you should be able to secure yourself both for the present time and the time to come. So that's, like, the three major things I think would actually help you to secure a very good financial future for every young person.
Thank you very much, Christopher. You said it all. Going to Mr. Kennedy, the last question for this particular session, the first panel session. How can the youth save and be economical in spending?
How can youth save and be economical in spending? It all has to do with personal discipline. It all has to do with discipline. You need, as Ms. Arese said in a session, you need to understand that your money, you have to come to a point where you spend less than you make. You spend less than you make. Your spending is less than your income. That is wisdom. That is a place of financial discipline. It's not everything you must spend on. You need to be able to, there's a phrase I use, you need to be able to carry face for some things. Not even everything. Okay, the Bible says in the book of Corinthians, it says, all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. You need to apply this mentality to your finances, to your personal finances, to your spending culture, and to your savings culture. It might be good, it might be okay, but you need to ask yourself, do I really need this at this particular point in time? And something just came to my mind. You need to be able to split your priorities into things that are important and things that are urgent. Your financial obligations, you need to be able to split them into things that are important and things that are urgent. Not everything that is urgent is important. You need to learn that just because something is urgent does not mean it's important, and not everything that is important is urgent. You can apply it broadly as you live, but apply it to your finances and you experience a shift. You need to know that not everything that is important is urgent, and not everything that is urgent is important. It has to do with a lot of discipline. You must, Ms. Arese has said it, you must have a budget, and you must live within your means. Have a budget, discipline yourself. So I think that is a major way for youths to be able to live within their means. And to add, I know this was not part of my question, but I would like to add to what Mr. Christopher said. He said something, he spoke about information. I read in a book, the Jewish principles. The book was written by a Jewish rabbi, and he said something, a phrase that has stuck with me over the years. He said, real wealth is portable, because real wealth is knowledge. Real wealth is not necessarily the amount you have in your bank account. It is not the amount you have in your wallet, Real wealth is the amount you have upstairs. What do you know that the other person does not know? That's one of the major factors. So just to add to what Mr. Christopher said, you need to go for knowledge, and don't just go for knowledge, go for relevant knowledge. So I think I've been able to answer that question satisfactorily, Mr. Charles.
Yes, you have. You've done great justice to that. Okay, guys, we would end the first panel session here and we'll go on a little break. During this break, we would have someone here to speak to us about Forex. We've heard a lot about Forex, and today we would like to know more about Forex. So it's my pleasure to invite Mrs. Stella Agu to talk about Forex.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so the guest speaker has actually said it all about being financially secure, but I would like to add like a thing or two. To me, I see financial security as a situation where you can handle whatever comes. Like, let me say your phone gets bad or your phone gets broken, and that's an unforeseen circumstance. It's not something that was planned for. But then if you have the money to be able to fix that phone at that point in time, I see it as being financially secure. It means you were actually planning for things that you didn't see coming. I see that as being financially secure. And I've actually been like a very financially secure person right from my university days, being that I always had a saving box, what we know as Colo. Even till now, I still have it. So at the time where someone was asking like for people that are low income, for people that are not earning right now, like you're not working, so there's no source of income and all of that. Well, to me, I think at this stage, you should still be getting tips from your parents, your friends, maybe your elder ones, if you have. And that was something I always did. Like when I get tips, maybe if I get like five k or maybe 1,000 naira, or even as low as 200, I intentionally divide it into two because truth is that money came. You didn't know the money was coming, and you actually do not have plans for that money. So why not save it instead of, oh, I just got this money, let me do this, let me do that? Because I found out that saving helps a lot. Even when I wasn't earning, when I break my saving box, sometimes I see as much as 50k, and I'm like, what? Like, was I able to save this? So I think if you guys can adapt that, because I even tell people like my friends about that even till now, like it should just be something you just, maybe you see a spare money or something, you just put it there. Or maybe you have money, because you can't say it's always about you not having money. It can't be like that all around the year. It's not possible. So I'm going to be talking about Forex now. Forex is actually the conversion of one currency to another in the Forex market. The Forex market is a global marketplace for exchanging national currencies against one another. So I actually work with a Forex company, and we actually help individuals invest. So now it's more like, just like you keep your money in the bank, you invest with us, but then you're getting
a return on your investment on a monthly basis. That's where I had to bring the saving box thing in, because the Forex company I actually work for, we have as low as 36,300 investment. And for that investment, you get 10%, because we're actually talking about being financially secure here. So I'm trying to chip this in. You can actually have an investment and then you're getting the monthly returns on it. And then you're still saving your capital that was invested with us. Forex trading is actually very large. I'm not a Forex trader, so I won't be able to go into details. Even if I was a Forex trader, I won't be able to give you details. It will seem like I'm even speaking Spanish or something, because it's actually broad. It's actually really, really large. But Forex trading right now is a thing that most people, even I myself, I'm trying to learn about it. It's a thing that can help you, because even in the bank, they trade Forex. We have Forex traders in the bank. We have Forex traders in investment company, like the investment company I work with, which is ADFX. That's the name of the investment company, ADFX. We have Forex traders too in our investment company. So Forex trading is actually something that you need to take your time to learn. Even if I tell you, okay, this is it, it will all seem like I'm 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 saying something that is not really understandable or something, because Forex trading is actually really, really broad. But the major thing is, it is where currencies are traded in the Forex market. That's what Forex is all about. We know about the dollars, we know about GPB, we know JPY, that's Japan currency, and all of that. And also, we have a training hub where I work. So if you actually want to acquire the knowledge of Forex trading, I think you should enroll in our training hub. It's called Adi Training Hub, which will be starting off in no time. It's going to be the first, actually, because we've been trading for like close to 3-4 years, but now we want to pass the knowledge to people. So I'm basically going to talk about financial security as regards where I work. Like I just want to, I can't really talk about Forex because I don't trade Forex. I'm not a trader. I'm sorry about that. But then I want to talk about what we do in my company and how it can be of help. Because someone asked the question and the person was like, are there investment strategies or investment plans that one can actually go into? Miss Arese said everything, like she said it all, and I agree totally with everything she said. So I just want to talk about our investment plan and how it can be of help to you. Like I earlier mentioned, you can be saving money in your saving box. I wish I could show you mine. You think I'm just talking, it's just somewhere around. I have a saving box. I put in money every day, even as little as 200 naira. You find out that at the end of 6 months, when you open it, you'll be shocked at what you see. Because if you discipline yourself, okay, I'm going to be putting 200 naira, or I'm going to be putting this amount, and for every other day you just put in something more than that, you actually see that it's actually like a good idea, like a very, very good idea. So ADFX is an investment company, like I earlier stated. We have different investment plans and they all have their different percentages. So depending on you, we made provision for everyone, from the low income earner to the high income earner. So for the low income earners or for the no income earners at all, we have the mini FX plan, which is 10%. Yes, 10% on a monthly basis. So if you invest as low as 36,300, you get 10% on that on a monthly basis in your bank account. So that could actually count for something. You know that, okay, I have this 36,300 somewhere, and then I still get 10% of it on a monthly basis in my account to settle, even if it's okay, I don't have data, let me buy data or something. So being financially secure is actually very important. Very, very important. I wish I had this training when I was much younger, because I've actually been a financially secure person, like I mentioned. I love saving, but the issue I had was misplaced priority. I save money and then I get a phone, or I get something that is just for the time being, something that is not long term, something that when you look at maybe in the next 1 year, it doesn't have value anymore. So that shouldn't be the case for you guys. That's why I'm actually bringing our the investment opportunities that we have where I work, and I'm also letting you guys know that we have a training hub for those that want to learn to trade forex. So I think I would stop here because the session is 5 minutes. So I'm open to questions. I'm open to questions from anybody.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Someone said, Ma, are you a forex trader?
No, I'm not.
Okay. That's the only question here.
Someone has a question. Someone has have the person to
Okay.
the person with iPhone 11 Pro name. I've asked the person to unmute himself. The person with iPhone 11 Pro. I it seems the person. I think I will be just to move on. Any oh, okay? The person's question has been asked. I think that was the last question I was asked. All right. Thank you very much, Ma. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much, Ma. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Ma, for that wonderful talk on Forex. We all appreciate your presence here. Now, I would
Thank
like to
you.
call, thank you, Ma. I'd like to call on Charles Obirinawa for the second panel session.
Thank you very much, Shay. We would have the second panel session now. Still the same panelists. I'm still your moderator, Obrinawa Charles. The first question here is a budget necessary for youth and why? Tulud, answer that question. Is a budget necessary for youth and why?
Hello. Okay. So yes, a budget is necessary for youths. Why? Because we have unlimited wants and scarce resources. I'm going to give a quick, what's it called? A quick scenario of a person going for groceries, right? When you go, so many people have this testimony of going out to buy something, and because they have things in their mind to go and buy, but when they get there, they are buying everything else except for everything else they did not plan out to buy, did not set out to buy.
To climb if you wanna know it, why don't you go slow?
Sorry, continue to do.
Yeah, so they are buying everything else they did not set out to buy. So a budget helps you, just like a grocery list will help you to stay focused. A budget helps you to stay focused. A budget is simply you writing down your income, whatever the sources of income or source of income you have, and stating your expenses and managing it. Because Ms. RSA said it well, that however you manage 10 naira, that's how you're going to manage 1,000,000 naira. So if I'm able to budget 10 naira, you can break it down. What's it called? What's the a quality of money is that is divisible. So like you can divide. So as you divide that 10 naira, manage it to suit whatsoever goal or purpose you have set for it. That's the same way you're going to manage a greater resource. So what's it called? About two problems I would just like to cite that people might feel, two reasons why people might feel like, oh, I don't want to do this budget thing, it's too much. The first one is because they don't know how to go about it. And as I said earlier, it is simply you just having your income stated and your expenses, then matching them against one another and saying, okay, what can I do better? How can I save in this area? If you don't need to buy 2 loaves of bread in one day, buy one and buy the next one when you can. Like it just helps you to really picture where you are at and where you can go. Another reason why people might feel like, oh, I'm not really into this budget thing is the fact that a budget makes you accountable. Like anything that makes you disciplined or you have to be accountable to, people struggle with it because you have to call yourself to order, really. When you were talking discipline and everything, you're like, oh my gosh, you have to restrict yourselves. So a budget really is, that's why I think people would feel like, oh, this thing is not for me. And if you want to make the right decisions, if you want to do better for yourself, you really need to be determined and that, okay, I'm going to be accountable for every penny I spend. I'm going to do this budget thing. It doesn't have to be too complex. Yes, people now use an Excel sheet. The Excel sheet is not supposed to make it complex. It's supposed to make it easier for you because you have the formulas. So something like when you go on YouTube is a good resource. You can easily check out how to use formulas in case you want to use Excel to make your budget. Just go how to add, the sum and how to subtract and everything. And you have your budget set already. And you just keep fixing in whatsoever income or whatsoever expenses you have. Another reason why people might feel like a budget really is not for me is if you're not gaining steady income, which Mrs. Arese mentioned earlier on, that can be discouraging. But still, it's good to know that even that 50 naira gift, 50 naira, who is giving gift 50? Even that 5,000 naira gift that your uncle or auntie gives you, your budgets, your next steps, it starts from there. Like, okay, I said, yeah, so it starts from there. So that's what I would have to say about budget. The budget is important, and it is very important for all of us to consider it in our daily activities. Thank you.
Thank you to do. Now to Kehinde. Kehinde, what are the possible financial issues that the youth encounter, and how can they overcome those financial issues?
All right, Charles. Okay, I think the first issue a typical youth in this part of the world is making money. I would like to tackle making money. That's the aspect of the money itself. And the second is lifestyle. Number one, okay, let me deal with lifestyle. The thing is that many people do not know how to say no, and we've discussed that earlier. A major issue is the fact that people don't know how to allocate their resources, because basic economics 101 tells us that almost every resource is scarce. And when a resource is scarce, you need to learn how to allocate it properly and resourcefully enough to meet your needs. You need to separate your needs from your wants. So that solves that challenge. And the second challenge is the system of money in itself. The first, I would just like to split it into 3 parts, and I call it the MMM model. It's not the MMM that we all know. It's something I just thought of and it came to mind. I was like, whoa, it even made real sense coming as MMM. The first challenge when it comes to money is making money, having a cash flow, having an active cash flow at least once every month. Even if it's 10,000 that comes in, you should learn how to allocate your 10,000 naira. Mrs. Arese has said it, that you should learn 70-30 and 70-20 and 10%. You must learn how to manage your money. Number 2, that you must make money. And if you feel you're not making enough, you need to get creative. How can I make more money? How can I have extra sources of income? How can I diversify my investments? How can I diversify my funds? You need to consider that. Number 2, you need to learn how to manage money. And that is when discipline comes in. That is when having a budget comes in. That is when having a scale of preference come in. You need to, as I said earlier, you need to split your needs between what is urgent and what is important. How to manage money. It takes a lot of discipline. Of course, I can decide to buy a Ferrari, but it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help me as an individual. You need to learn how to spend your money on assets and liabilities. You need to differentiate when it comes to managing money. You need to differentiate between your assets and your liabilities. Now, let me quickly define this. An asset in itself is something that you purchase or you acquire that makes money to maintain itself and to maintain you. Have that in mind. Assets are not just physical tangibilities. No, it's more than that. Assets are items that make money to maintain itself and to maintain you. That is to say that your car, if it's not making money, it is not an asset. But if an asset maintains itself, but your car, you need to maintain it. It doesn't maintain you. Your Rolex wristwatch that you're almost killing everybody, you are disturbing your parents that you need a Rolex wristwatch for your birthday. It doesn't make you money, except, I don't know, maybe you charge, when people ask you what's the time, you charge them 1,000 naira to tell them what the time is. That's just me being funny. But you need to understand the difference between an asset and the liabilities. And a poor person spends all his income, all his money on liabilities. That's a major challenge for third world individuals. We spend our money on a lot of liabilities, on frivolities. And a wise person, a rich person, spends his money on assets. You need to come to a point where you spend your money on assets. Look for assets, look for investments. Miss Arese said it, look for mutual funds to invest in. I'm not saying don't do Ponzi schemes. I'm totally against that. Look for things that have a track record, that are legal. Invest your money. Discipline yourself. Tell yourself, this month I won't consume so much data. I won't waste time on YouTube. I won't waste time on Netflix because I know that will consume my data. And I have a financial limit on data. All right. Tell yourself, I will go to the mall only 3-4 times throughout the whole month. And I won't go to Domino's Pizza. I'll go to a cheaper one. You need to set these practical boundaries. You need to set very practical boundaries for you to be able to achieve a level of financial security. And the last point in the MMM model, Mr. Charles, don't sell this model. Oh, it's copyrighted. It's to my name. I'm just joking. The last M is multiply money. How do you multiply your money? The Bible talked about the parable of the man who the master was going. He gave one 10 talents, he gave one 5 talents, he gave the last one 10 talents. Then the Bible says the one with 10 talents went, did business. The one with 5 talents went, did business. You need to learn to put your money to work. Make your money work for you. You need to come to a point where you don't work for. Listen, when you work for money, you live a life of frustration. you are not, God didn't create you to work for money. I know it might sound controversial and different from what you're used to. God didn't create us to work for money. God created us to work for a purpose. God created us to fulfill a purpose. However, you need to be wise enough to make your money work for you. All right. You need to look for opportunities, diversify your funds, look for extra sources of income, anything legal that can help you multiply your money. All right. And lastly, it also has to do with your value. Add value to yourself, add enough sufficient value to yourself so that when you name your price, put yourself in a place of value that when you name your price, people will be very interested. They'll be like, oh, I'm very interested in what you have to offer. So I think I've answered this question well enough. Thank you, Mr. Charles.
Yes, you have, Mr. Kendi. You've done great justice to that question. And of course, your MMM model is copyrighted, so we appreciate that and we would help secure it too. Now to Christopher. Many youths are concerned about financially protecting their young ones, but then they find this very hard. So, in your own way, have how do you think that the youths rather can financially protect their loved ones, rather, their loved ones?
Okay. That question is kind of, should I say, relative to different people, because I would like to put it like in a perspective, depending on what position you occupy for the people that you're supposed to cater for. That's how I want to look at it. So if as a young person, let's say me, for instance, now, I would say like I have very few dependents, very few people that depend on me for any kind of financial assistance and the rest of it. But now, if I were to be like a father or a mother, or maybe an uncle, or even a brother that has to cater for like the younger siblings and the rest of it, then it boils down to financial planning, being responsible. So when you have like a financial plan to cater not just for yourself, but for the people that also depend on you, then it makes it a lot easier for you as long as you have a constant stream of income. Now that's like the important part. Now, but if I'm to look at it from a perspective of me being a young person, and then the people who look out to me for financial assistance are also people within my age group, or people um, let's say of age to like actually work or something, people that can actually work for themselves or probably have nothing to do for themselves or have no clue what they could do for themselves. And I feel the best way to protect their financial interest is to empower them. So basically, I believe empowerment, for my own kind of perspective, I'm to look at it from my own kind of perspective, how I can empower, how I can actually protect my loved ones financially is to actually empower them, either supporting their dreams through providing assistance with capital, maybe starting up their businesses, or actually helping them in learning like a skill or acquiring any kind of knowledge that will actually help them to actualize their dreams. So putting that into, I feel, and that also brings me to the saying that says, I don't know if that is the right way to put it, but it goes like this, like, instead of giving me a fish, why not just teach me how to fish? So for me, the best way I feel I can protect your own financial, protect you financially as a loved one, I feel is to empower you, because I wouldn't want you coming back all the time, or yeah, I might have like a personal plan or to cater for unforeseen events and then cater for the people I care about. But I feel empowering those people that you care about or those that actually depend on you actually eases you of that stress of having to think about and handle the whole thing yourself. So once you can empower them either financially or with knowledge or with in any kind of way that would actually help them earn their own money, then I feel that's like the best way to actually secure them or secure their own future to financially.
Okay. Thank you very much, Christopher. So, to those who have plans of financially protecting their loved ones, Mr. Christopher has said a lot on that in regards to that. Now, to Tolu again, the ever elegant Tolu. What should be the top financial goal of every individual? Now, individuals is the youth.
All right. So I'm going to take some points from what Mr. Christopher said. about the best thing you can do for a person is to teach them how to fish. So bringing it back home, the what's it called? I believe the what's it called? The top financial goal every youth can set for themselves is to invest in their personal development, to invest in their professional development. Because I believe Mrs. Arese also spoke about it when she was talking that yeah, we might feel like, oh, I'm not making that money right now, but that's not even the focus. We're in a season of our lives where what really is important is for us to gain that, what's it called, to educate ourselves, to empower ourselves, so that whenever you get that resource available, have that resource available to you, you are ready for action. What's it called? Yes, financial goals. I believe that the top financial goal, like I said, is to invest in your personal development. Basically, get some sort of education. We can always learn and be better. Information, as Christopher said earlier, is important as we are, like, the world is changing. You need to be informed. You need to keep check of what you can offer, whatever you have can bring to the table, and how whatever you have can advance, because there's technology as well. So improving your skills till you're confident in whatever you have to offer. Improving your skills till you're confident in whatever you have to offer. So that's what I believe the top financial goal, because financial goal simply um it talks about the objectives that guide how to save and how we save and how we spend our money. So if I have money, how am I going to save and spend it? I know that, okay, when I have this resource, I'm not just going to buy it on a shirt that is going to fade in after I wash it a couple of times. I'm going to invest in a book that will help me. I'm going to invest in a conference because there's networking as well. I'm going to invest in a conference, speak with other people. I'm going to come on Yongazo conference if we're paying to be here, right? I'm going to be here, talk with other youths, communicate with them, and learn from seasoned professionals. So this should be the top financial goal for every youth. And remember, education is not just what we go to school, the theory we go to school to learn. That's why I say development. Personal development is a skill, and professional development, your network. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tolu. Tolu has made us understand that for those young people who would have set their minds only on just making money in any form, um, the main financial goal of every young person should be to invest in their personal development instead of just setting your eyes on money, or like I would say most times, instead of chasing money. Now to Christopher. Many youths have investment intentions. Ms. Saresa spoke about investment. Mrs. Stella Agu on Forex spoke about investments. Now, for those youths who have investment intentions, how can their investment strategies match their goals?
Okay, first I'd like to apologize for the because I am very sure my video is actually quite blurry now. But sorry about that. So, but to answer your question, I feel the first thing you should ask yourself is why you're actually investing in the first place. Then after that, it's only after you've actually figured out why you want to invest that you determine the actual goal, the goal you want to achieve with your investment. Then with that in mind, then you also have to consider the time horizon needed to actually achieve your goal. And that's actually what you actually need to align your investment with your goals. So I've listed out like about 7 steps that you can actually use to actualize that. So the first thing is, like I said, is identifying your goal. So basically you have to know why you are what you intend to achieve with your investment. So to align your investment with your goal, you have to know the first and foremost, the one thing you want to achieve with your investment. So once you've identified your goals, then you can every other thing can actually fall in place. Then secondly, you have to like fix a time horizon to achieving your goal. So for everything you want to achieve, for every goal, for every kind of investment or anything you want to do in this life, apart from investment or anything, always have like a time frame attached to it. Because with time frame, you actually have like the ability to measure your growth and then your success rates and know what you have to change and if you have to adjust anything. So without a time frame, you might not actually know how far you've come or how well you are doing, whether your investment is doing well or it's doing bad. So that's like a very important factor after you've identified your goal. Figure out how long it's going to take you to actually achieve that goal. And once you've done that, the third thing you should do is to figure out your investment amount. So for every investment, there should be like a required amount required for you. Okay, if it's like 1,000 naira, I'll need to start off this investment. How much do I have now? Or how much do I need? How much extra do I need to actually get started? So once you figure out the amount you need to start, and then you should only then should you go ahead with your investment, because you don't want to go into an investment that you get stuck in midway because you don't have enough financial support or enough finance with you to actually go ahead with it. So, and after that, the fourth thing you should do is to know the right, to know your risk tolerance. Now, this is it. For every investment, no matter how lucrative your investment plan or whatever might be, there is always risk associated with any kind of investment. Even the low risk one, there's always like that tiny bit of risk associated with that kind of investment. So you have to know your tolerance, your risk tolerance. And that being said, if I want to put in another word, like it's like how much are you willing to lose? Like when you want to invest in something or when you want to achieve something, you are putting in an effort, both in time, in form of time, and other kinds of resources. Now, how much are you willing to invest into that kind of how much risk are you willing to take? So once you've covered your risk tolerance, then that way you should be able to know when you've exceeded your tolerance rate and when you should back down. So that actually helps you not to actually, because it will help remove any form of strain that might come along that investment path that you've chosen. So once you've identified your goal, you fixed a time frame for achieving the goal, you've determined your investment amount, then you have to know how much you are willing to lose. Then after that, you have to create a roadmap towards achieving your goal. You have to know how to get from where you are to where you want to be. So without like a clear path or a clear mark or a clear path to how you want to move from where you are to the end of your goal, then there is really no point going into it because you'll be stuck along the way. So you have to define different strategies or different things you need to do to actually move from where you are to where you want to be towards achieving your goal. So once you've defined that, then in the end, once you've defined a roadmap towards achieving your goal, then and you've implemented all those steps, then you also have to like monitor your investments. So no one invests in anything and then leave it just there to grow, unless maybe it's like okay, invest or like just putting money somewhere or maybe like treasury bill where the risk is quite very low. But if it's like in other kinds of investment like real estate and the rest of them, those bigger kind of investments, or even like forex or even stock, especially when you're buying stock, you need to monitor the market to know when the market is at their peak, when they are at their low, when you are supposed to cash out, and when you are supposed to like invest even more if it's something that you can actually double on, like to invest more. So monitoring your investments is actually a very, very important step. We don't just invest in something and then leave it, because you need to and monitoring your investments I feel like monitoring your investments also helps you to measure your key performance indicators. If you want to monitor your investments, have like key performance indicators for every stage of your investment to know how well you've actually grown. Normally we'll call them like KPIs. So with your key performance indicators, you can actually use it as a metric to monitor how well your investment is doing or how bad it is performing. So you can always like adjust things if there's need for it. And then lastly, you have to protect your goals, or rather protect your investment. If it's something that is insurable, insure it. If you can insure your goals, if you can insure your investment, go for it. So investing in something and then not having a security backup for it is like, I don't know, like you're probably building like on a, I don't know how to put it now, something without a solid foundation. So if you can have like a backup for your investment, then it is very, very important. If you can have like a way to protect your investment in any way, be it legally or through insurance and the rest of it, then I feel it's very important. And to list out the points again in simple formats, it's just the first one is to identify your goals. Second one is to fix a time frame towards achieving your goals. Third one is to determine the investment amount you are willing to put in. And the fourth one, knowing the risk tolerance you are willing to take towards that investment. And the fifth one, create a roadmap which you can use to actually get from where you are to where you want to be. That is like the roadmap from start to finish for your goal. Then the sixth one is to monitor your investments towards the process of achieving your goal. And then lastly, you have to also protect it. So when you have all these key elements in place, then definitely you should be able to align your goals to your aspiration of being financially independent.
Thank you very much, Chisom. Now, to round off this panel session, I would ask Mr. Kennedy the last question, which is, how can the youth adjust to the vagaries of the world in terms of finance? The world is no doubt evolving every day, so how can the youth adapt rather to the changes and the vagaries of the financial world?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Charles. I'm sorry I can't put on my video. Surprisingly, light bulb just blew out and I can't replace it right now. So the important thing to know is that the world changes every day. The world changes every second. All right. And as Mr. Christopher said, you need to have sufficient knowledge. Okay. You need to keep up with, all right. You need to keep up with the relevant knowledge in your field in terms of finances. You need to, as Mr. Charles has basically covered, Mr. Chris has basically covered everything I would love to say. You need to have relevant knowledge in your field when it comes to adapting to the changing, the fluctuating systems of finance in the world, that globally, in Nigeria, in whatever sector you are, whatever financial sector you are. So you need to understand that everything changes, especially now that we're in digital world. One news on Twitter, one trend can cause a lot of changes in the financial sectors. All right, you need to be at the top of your game. Wealth is not necessarily about money. As I said earlier, it's about information. It's about the relevant information you have. Every morning I have the stock. I subscribe to Investopedia and Morning Brew. Those are two platforms. I have stock market information into my mail. I read it every day just to keep up with the relevant information. I watch the news. I check Bloomberg LP. I have a lot of things that I keep up with financial information as often as I can, because you need to know when to pull in, you need to know when to pull out, especially when it relates to investment. So it's much more than BB Niger. It's much more than it's much more than these irrelevant things. You need to use your time wisely to check out the relevant investment opportunities, the financial opportunities, everything you can spend your time on and your money on. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. You've done great justice to that question. A lot has been said about financial security. Our people say that a word is enough for the wise. Um, this is a little charge to everyone that we should focus more on the important and less on the irrelevant things. Like Mr. Kennedy said earlier on, instead of spending so much on Netflix, on when you go to the grocery stores, you don't have a budget, you just spend anyhow. You should focus on saving, on investing, so that we can be financially secured. We've seen the chat room, and those who are joining us from over the world via YouTube. We don't have any questions, and we've asked from time to time if there are any questions. So, okay, okay, there's a question. Someone has a question. There's just one question. Okay, from Doing Falai. Now, Doing's question is, how do you monetize on social media? What are the steps to take in achieving this? For example, on Instagram or on YouTube? I think I would call Mr. Kennedy to attend that question.
Okay, how do you monetize on social media? Number one, have a product. That goes without saying. Have a product. But to set a strategy, it's all about having a very good strategy. Number three, have what I call a neutrality budget on putting your product out there. You need to have a platform. How do I monetize? You need to have a system for putting your product out there. If it's on Instagram, if it's on Facebook, if it's on WhatsApp, if it's on any social media platform you have. And one thing I would like, if you can afford to, get a virtual store. Get a space on Konga, get a space on Jumia, get a space on OLX, go to Gigi. Take advantage of these platforms because it's much more than just going on Facebook and Instagram and advertising. You need to optimize as many platforms as possible for you to monetize on social media. And something else you can monetize on social media is your knowledge. It's your knowledge. It's your knowledge. Let me just be very brief. Do you know how to bake? Do you know how to rap? Do you know how to sing? Do you know how to play an instrument? You can run tutorials. 1,000 naira, learn how to bake a cake, learn how to cook jollof rice, learn how to make coleslaw and ice cream. All those things, you can put them out on social media and you will make money. It might not be as much as you want. You might not rake in the millions at first, but you will make money definitely. So I think that should get you started to an extent.
Thank you, Mr. Kende. I believe Doing Pala is satisfied on that with that response. Doing also had another question. What do you do if you do not have the resources or exposure in terms of financial security? Tolu would answer that question. I don't think Tolu is ready for us now. I think Christopher would answer that question. What do you have if you do not have resources or exposure in terms of financial security?
I think it's just about educating yourself basically. There's nothing with this question now. You have to find a way to educate yourself. There are so many free resources for you out there, so it's not possible for you not to have resources. For maybe the person that sent in the question, obviously you have a mobile phone and you obviously have access to the internet. So there are so many free resources out there that you can actually take advantage of to learn more about investments, about things you can do to gain financial independence. Like we said now, about that previous person that asked about the social media thing. So as long as you belong to a particular social media platform, either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can monetize any of those. You might not even have a physical product, so you might not even own the product you're selling in particular. You could get like a vendor who sells something. Let's say, for instance, you know where you can actually get shoes if someone actually needs them. Then you can actually get those products. You might not even get those products. You might actually go to where you can get those products. Have a very good, take a very good pictures of the product, and then post it up on your own page, and then push it out there using digital marketing, or putting on any social media platform, and then marketing it to people to buy from you. And when you get orders, what you just have to do is go to the vendor, take the product, and then you sell. That's just like one instance out of like the many ones available. As long as you have a very good content, a very good content strategy, an audience to sell to, and you have a very good understanding of your target audience, then you should be able to sell to them using any good strategy, and then from there you can build your brand from there. So there are always things you can do. There is always like options and solutions available to you as long as you have your phone with you. The phone that you have with you, for me, is like a great asset. Even for me, for instance, I utilize social media to extensively, and I've actively earned from social media for over the past 3 years, and it's still like a major source of income for me. So, and the funny thing is that you don't actually have to own the product yourself, like I said. So depending on what you want to do, like what Mr. Kenny said, you can decide to sell knowledge, you can decide to sell your knowledge. If you are very good at something, you can decide to sell it to people teach it to people, and they will pay you for it. If you're very good in marketing, you can have businesses that have no clue how they want to market their products. Let's say you're good with ads creation and the rest of it, Facebook ads and the rest of it. Then they can pay you to help them market their products. Or you can even be like a page manager. You can manage people's page for them. People that are extremely busy, you can manage their pages for them. You can manage people's DM. You can actually be a content creator, a dedicated content creator for certain brands and the rest of it. So there are like so many things that you can actually lay your hands on as long as you have access to the internet. And your phone is like a great asset when it comes to that area.
Thank you very much, Christopher. I appreciate how you answered that question. I think Kendi would also answer this question again from doing, and this is the last question we'll be taking for the interactive session. The question goes thus: how does someone in extreme poverty get financial security? That's a very good question, and it's food for thought. Kendi, hello, Kendi.
Hello, Charles. Sorry for the
All right.
break. It's raining very heavily and that's caused some interference. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. How does someone in extreme poverty get financial security? The first thing is that you need to know that financial security and financial freedom comes from the mind. Let's go back to the Bible. The Bible says that guard your hearts with all diligence, because out of it comes the issues of life. It starts from the mind. It is not necessarily about how much you're making yet. It starts from the mind. Feed yourself with relevant information, attend courses, attend classes, sacrifice, buy books. Most importantly, two things I would like to emphasize. Number one, be the best at what you do in your career, in your work, what the services you provide, the goods you render. Be the best at it. Have excellence, because excellence will always place you on a pedestal, okay? And number two, very importantly, get a financial mentor. Get a financial mentor as much as you can. A mentor will teach you in one day something you can't read in a book in 1 year, all right? Those two are very, very important. Get relevant information. Stay at the top of your game. Have a source of income. Be financially disciplined. Save, invest. Save, invest. Don't spend all you. The Yorubas have a saying. The Yorubas say that you should not eat with 10 fingers. Even the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, it says, cast your bread upon many waters. That means invest your money in several places, all right? And just do these things. And also know that it's not a one-day journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. It takes time to build something of value. And with the grace of God, don't forget the place of prayers. With the grace of God, everything will work out fine. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Kendi, for answering that question. This is where we have to draw the curtains of this session and the entire webinar series. It's been a very wonderful exercise so far since last week, Saturday, then down to today. It's been very impactful, insightful, and we've received very awesome feedback from our participants. To our viewers all over the world, we appreciate you for joining us. Okay, we have some goodwill messages coming in, and I'll just read one from one of our panelists. Hey everyone, I'm Tolu Alashe Awoderu. I love this topic so much, and I'm glad I was given the opportunity to speak my passion today. I trust that we would all leave here with a lesson or two. Go and live wisely. I would leave to look out for more young gathering initiatives. It's important that you show up for youth. Reach me anytime on IG at Tolu_trust. That's my closing remark. Thank you very much, Tolu. It's been a pleasure having you here. We encourage all our viewers all over the world to subscribe to our YouTube channel for videos that will be coming often to buttress our motto, our mission of inspiring the youth to shape the world. It's now that I would have to invite the co-founder of the Young Adult Foundation, Trust Babalola, to take the closing remark. Trust.
Okay. Wow, what a nice way to wrap up today's event. Once again, I want to appreciate each and everyone who tied into this webinar. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure you've been impacted upon too. Some people believe you need a millionaire, you need to be a millionaire or even a multimillionaire to be financially secure. Yet, there have been countless entrepreneurs, athletes, and film stars who have made a fortune and then lost it all. Financial security, as we have learned today, means that you're control of your money and you're not worried about paying the bills or covering an emergency. So let's remember that there are 10 steps to become financially secure. Now, what are these 10 steps? The 10 steps will come up on the screen right now. Now, the first is one, you evaluate your situation. Two, live below your means. Three, create financial goals. Four, make a financial security plan. Five, reduce your expenses. Six, pay off your debts. Seven, save for things like emergencies and retirement. Eight, find ways to increase your income. Nine, diversify your investments to mitigate risk. And 10, be consistent in your financial security management. Financial security management never stops. Consistency is the name of the game. I use this medium thereby to appreciate all our sponsors. In no alphabetical order and in no order, the sponsors are on the screen. Bear with me. Mrs. Banke Onishe, Mr. Shango Ogunsola, Mr. Taiwo Adenariwo, Mrs. Bellinger Amao, Mrs. Ellen Owaso, Mrs. Essen, Mrs. Amaka Awogo, Mrs. Dozier, Mrs. Doris Dozier. Thank you very much for sponsoring this webinar. Also, our partners, Tinlinks Edit, Toby of Latskidi, the Move for Change, and COC Foundation. We say a big thank you for being partners and making this webinar a success. Once again, to everyone all over the world that tied into this program, I say a big thank you. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel as more content shall be coming. Please have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys.